If you're like me, you recently got an email from TD Ameritrade and it just told you that your transition to Charles Schwab is about to begin. In this video, we're going to break down that entire move. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Maui Vodi with financiallypresent.com, your one-stop shop for financial and investment education. And today we're breaking down the transition from TD Ameritrade to Charles Schwab. So as you know, back in 2019, Charles Schwab purchased TD Ameritrade for $26 billion. Yes, billion with a B. And they've kept most of the things separate up until now. So in 2023, people are slowly being migrated over, and we're going to break down what you need to do, what's going to move and what's not going to be moved. So if you've been using your TD Ameritrade account for a number of years like me, you need to make sure that you're getting used to Charles Schwab. So I'll get to that part in just a second. But when things transition like this is a big undertaking. So they make sure they do it in batches, and they also have to understand that when it comes to change management, people are going to be a little bit resistant. So they have a few things in place for that. So we're going to get into all of those details. But before I do that, I know that you know someone who probably doesn't check their email very well, and when their account is fully transitioned to Schwab, they're going to say, hey, I had no clue this was going on. I want you to make sure you share this video with them so that they know that's coming up. Okay, so let's talk about the big move. They're going to do it in phases, okay? So I got my email from TD Ameritrade on March 16th, and by May 30th, the transition should be complete. They're going to do this over the course of multiple holidays throughout the year so that on extended weekends, they have time to transition your accounts. Okay, so let's look at the timeline. First, you're going to get that initial email. The next, you're going to get a notification saying that within the next 30 days, you should create a Schwab login. And if you already use Charles Schwab, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing that you need to do going further. You're okay for now. A week and a half later, that is your deadline to make sure that you are going to give trading authority or access to all of the appropriate accounts that need to be able to view through your existing Charles Schwab login that you just created. A week later, that's going to be when you have your last opportunity to go ahead and change addresses, update your preferences, update things like your document delivery, or essentially get any additional information that you need. You'll still be able to log in, but you want to make sure you get it by this time. Then 2 weeks after that is going to be your last day to trade at TD Ameritrade forever, okay? Because at that point, it's going to be a Friday evening, and over the course of that weekend, they're going to make sure that everything is locked, frozen. Your TD Ameritrade account will be done forever, and then by the next business day, you will log into your Charles Schwab account. And remember, you would have already created your login if you did it by the original deadline. One of the big takeaways to remember is that there are no fees associated with your transition to Schwab. Of course, they have already paid for TD Ameritrade, so you are already their client. They're just moving it from one house to the other, okay, so that everything is a little bit more uniform. And if for some reason you say, hey, you don't want to have a Schwab account, then you can actually transfer your assets out to a different brokerage firm, whether it's Fidelity or E-Trade or Vanguard or any other discount brokerage firm or brokerage firm, and they're not going to charge any fees for this, okay? Because this is part of a transition. They want to make it smooth for people, and they understand that there's going to be some push and pull at times, but they want to make it smooth. So this is your opportunity. If you do want to leave and you've been trying to avoid that account transfer out fee, this is your opportunity. So that begs the question, what's actually going to move over to Schwab from your TD Ameritrade account? Well, first and foremost, all of your, or the majority of your transfers, whether it's regular reoccurring transfers and deposits into your account, they're gonna transfer that over. But there are some small caveats, so I'm gonna include a link below that you can use to make sure that your pre-programmed transfer or your deposit situation, whether it may be withdrawal or deposit on a regular basis, it will make sure that those transfer over, but you have to look at the rules because there are some slight exceptions, and the link is below. Your cost basis has to, by law, transfer over because that gets reported up to the IRS, okay? So record of when you bought or sold something and how much something is worth right now, all of that stuff is gonna migrate over. Your transaction history that is definitely going to transfer over to your Schwab account because again, they have to present that information to you. Your historical statements and your tax forms, all of that's gonna go over as well. And then open orders. Any open orders on a trade that didn't execute, those are gonna be transferred over. A lot of times those tend to get canceled. So this is good. They are gonna transfer most of those over. The ones that won't get transferred over are usually for advanced trades. So imagine, one order triggers another order, which triggers another one. Like those type of trades are gonna have to be canceled. So you need to make sure that you're watching your investments during that time. And then lastly, the Thinkorswim platform, that is gonna move over, but it's gonna be sometime later on this year. So you will not lose that privilege. You'll be able to use that platform if you are the day trader type. So now there are a few things that are not going to move. So you need to take screenshots. You're going to have to download and export information out and keep that so that during this transition process, you can go ahead and load it back up or add it back into your new Schwab account. Your open order history on the open orders page, that is not going to transfer over. And then also, something else that's going to be left behind is the research screeners. So this is an opportunity for you to export it, usually into an Excel spreadsheet or something along those lines, so that when you log into your Schwab account, you can go ahead and start adding those screeners and things that help you find different investments. Your balance history chart, that's not going to transfer over as well. Your alerts and notifications, those will not transfer. So you're going to need to look at all of those, maybe take a screenshot and reset some of those or export them in order to load them up on your Schwab account. And then lastly, the educational courses. So if you were taking educational courses on TD Ameritrade, you're going to need to finish those up because they're not going to transfer over to Charles Schwab. They have a whole bunch of other stuff and it's Schwab branded, and essentially the TD Ameritrade stuff is not going to transfer over. So I know that was a lot of information, so I'm gonna have some links below this video that you can use as a resource. If you like this video, I want you to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the page, and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on future content. And until next time, stay present.